Alright guys, welcome to the video. I'm back home now. Um I really hope you enjoyed all the content I had from Florida. I had a blast doing all of it. Um Anyways, this video, as you've seen by the title, is going to be kind of my full comprehensive review of the All-Star Music Resort. It was my first time staying at a Disney resort, and I enjoyed some aspects of it, and there's some aspects I didn't enjoy so much. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to kind of go over the pros and cons of staying at a Disney resort compared to staying at Universal Resort. There are better reasons for staying at Disney, and to me there are better reasons for staying at Universal. They both have their merits, and I'm kind of going to go over some of them to let you guys know, you know, what I think of the whole process. The first thing I want to go over is the pros of staying at the All-Star Music Resort, or probably any of the All-Star Resorts. I'm sure they're all very similar. Although I think Movies is a little nicer because it has a little bit better theming. But other than that, let's jump right into the pros. And I want to start off with the biggest pro, is just which is the Magical Express. The Magical Express is a fantastic amenity. It allows for transfer from MCO, which is Orlando's International Airport, all the way to your resort hotel, as long as it's a Disney hotel, a Disney-owned hotel, which is amazing. Completely complimentary with your stay, which it should be. I mean, you know, you're paying a little bit extra, you know, you're paying that little luxury tax there to be staying at Disney. You should have nice amenities. Magical Express was great. I did the whole luggage service and everything, where they took my luggage and they brought it to my room for me. And then I also, when I checked out, I also used the luggage service that checked my bag and gave me my boarding pass at the hotel before I left. That was also fantastic. I really enjoyed that. It just made it so much easier. It was nice. And then it saved me $30 in Uber rides. Actually, $60 for round trip in Uber rides. So I have $60 saved for using the Magical Express, because I usually use Uber when I'm down in Orlando. That was really nice. But regardless, the Magical Express is awesome, and the whole process was really easy. Didn't have any problems. It was my first time using it, and everything worked exactly like it was supposed to. So no issues at all. It was great. I highly commend them for their Magical Express. It's just nice. So that's one major positive of staying. Staying on property at Disney, is you get the Magical Express. That was really nice. Saved a lot of money, and it was cool. Another pro of staying at the Walt Disney World Resort, staying at All-Star Music, was the bus system. That is also a con, which I'll get to that here in a little bit. But the bus system is nice to have. That, you know, you can just leave your resort and get on a bus and go to whatever park you want to, or go to Disney Springs, or, you know, go to Blizzard Beach, Typhoon Lagoon. It's really nice. They even ESPN Worldwide of Sports had a bus too, which is really cool. That is nice. That is really nice, being able to just leave your room, go to your bus, and go to a park. It's nice. So that is another amenity that I think is really nice. Compared to Universal property, though, I actually prefer to walk to the park, so we'll get to that in a minute. But other than that, one of the bigger things that I really enjoyed staying at the music resort was when at check-in, the desk clerk or whatever, she asked me, she said, you know, do you want to opt out of housekeeping since you're only staying for 4 days? And I was like, sure. And she said, well, if you do opt out, we do give you a $30 digital gift card, which they did email to me, and it actually had a barcode, and I ended up using that in the parks. They were able to scan the barcode at a gift shop that I purchased some pins at, downtown Disney. They actually scanned the barcode, and it took $30 off my purchase, which was amazing. So if you can avoid housekeeping, if you don't need housekeeping, especially if you're like by yourself or something, and you're not using much things, and you're not having much trash or anything like that, the extra $30 is really nice. I actually like that opt-out feature, and I wish other hotels would do that too. And on top of all that, that means that housekeeping doesn't bug you at all. So if you sleep in, you're a late sleeper, You get your day started later. You don't have to worry about housekeeping coming and waking you up. They at 11 o'clock or whenever they start. See, some hotels are different. Like when I stay at Cabana Bay, they start if I don't have the little disturb thing on my door, they start knocking on the door at like 9 in the morning, which is understandable. But of course, on your checkout day, 11 o'clock, that's your checkout. So, but anyways, I love that. Wish more hotels would do that. It was nice. It really was a nice feature, and gave me $30 extra to spend at the parks and at Disney Springs. So that was really nice, and I really enjoyed that. But anyways, let's go on to some cons that I had to brought up. I hate to bring up cons because I'm not too much of a complainer, but I do want to bring up some things that I did not like so much about staying at All Star Music. One of the biggest things that I noticed right off the bat, the hotel or the whole resort itself does not really like bleed niceness. I'm not trying to be a snob, but when you're paying, you are paying a tax. When you're staying at Disney, you're paying that luxury tax, for the amenities and stuff. I was expecting things to be a little bit nicer, just a little bit. Don't get me wrong, things weren't dirty, things weren't thrown everywhere, anything like that. It wasn't anything of that nature. But things just weren't as nice as I thought they were going to be. Granted, I was paying $97 a night for the hotel, which is not terrible. But let me put it this way. If that hotel was off property, say off 192, that hotel would probably be $40 a night. So you're paying quite the bit to get your Disney, amenities. Like I said, Magical Express makes up for a lot of that. But the way I interpret it is the whole time I was staying there, especially once I got into the room, I felt like I was staying at a Red Roof Inn. And I'm not saying Red Roof Inns are bad, but if you've ever stayed at Cabana Bay or any of Universal's kind of more lower end, like, Adventura, Cabana Bay, maybe Sapphire Falls even, those hotels feel really nice. Cabana Bay is extremely nice. My whole visit, I go to Cabana Bay all the time, and Cabana Bay is absolutely beautiful. It feels nice being there, and being at All Star Music just did not give that vibe to me. That was a major con for me. It just wasn't as nice. And it just, I hate to be a snob. I ain't trying to be a snob, but it's, when I can go to get Cabana Bay and pay the same price, it's, you knock off the $60 extra for Ubers going to the airport. You're still paying more. You know what I mean? Like if you can pay the same price at, at staying at Cabana Bay, it kind of weighs out those options. Makes it more of an even trade. Anyways, that's, like I said, felt like I was staying at a Red Roof Inn, and that's not the greatest experience that I would expect out of Disney. Nothing wrong with it. Like, I'm not saying it's bad. It's just not top notch. And I understand that's a value resort, but so is Cabana Bay. So, just keep that in mind. Cabana Bay is about, same price range. Cabana Bay is right there too. So I just wanted to mention that. I was a little disappointed in that. The next con that I can think of off the bat was no walking to the parks. I'm sure if you really, really, really wanted to, you probably could. But if you ever stayed at a Disney resort, you know that that's not really the way you're supposed to do it. Whereas staying at Universal, you have the garden walk. You can literally, if you're on the other side of the park, you're staying at Sapphire Falls, Cabana Bay, if you're staying at Royal Pacific, any of those hotels there, you can just get on the garden walk and come over. Or if you're at Portofino Bay, or if you're staying at Hard Rock, you can also walk, or you can also take the boats too, which is really nice. Don't get me wrong, I like the buses. The buses, it's nice to have the buses, right there at your disposal, right there at your disposal. That is a nice feature, and I do consider that an amenity. But walking to the parks is more important to me, and I really missed being able to just get up and go to the parks at my own leisure. Missing when it's like 80 degrees out in the morning and you just want to enjoy the morning. There's nothing better than walking on the garden walk to me, and I kind of missed that. I did. I really missed that a lot. But that's just something I wanted to mention. It's one of those things like I know it's kind of nitpicky, but it's just I want to share my opinions. That's the whole point of this video, is to me be a little bit more comprehensive, have a little bit more of a comprehensive review. And anyways, let's go on to the next con here. And the next con is the fact that the buses are also a con. Not so much in the morning times when you go to the bus and you wait. Buses are usually pretty prompt. They will come pick you up and take you to the park in good fashion. It's when you're leaving the parks that the buses become an issue. Now, if you're staying at Magic Kingdom, or if you're at Magic Kingdom, excuse me, and you're leaving to go back to the All-Star resorts, each individual resort has its own bus, which is great, and that's the way it should be. But when you are staying anywhere else, you usually get your individual bus regardless, at all parks. Whereas with the All-Star Music, movies and sports, when you stay there, let's say you're leaving from Epcot, or let's say you're leaving from Hollywood Studios or Animal Kingdom or Disney Springs in my case, which is what I want to talk about. They usually pile all three resorts onto one bus, which, if you know that these are value resorts, there's a lot of guests staying at these resorts, and that means a lot of people are leaving the parks at night to go back to the resort. And that was a huge con for me. One night I was leaving Disney Springs. That's what I do. I usually go to Disney Springs, give me something to eat, and go look at some pins. It's like a little routine I like to do. But I was leaving, and there was probably 3 bus loads ahead of me. So I had to wait probably about an hour to get onto the bus. And then once I got on the bus, there was still probably at least 3 or 4 bus loads behind me. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, that's just because they were piling all 3 All-Star resorts onto one bus. And then they would just, make their stops at each resort and let people off. Which would, in most of the time, it works because there's not that many people. But at night, when people are trying to get back to the resort, there needs to be a change. There needs to be more buses available to accommodate all the people wanting to go back to the resort. So that's something I really wanted to mention. That was a major grievance I had, because that happened on 2 different nights. It was just completely packed. It was ridiculous. But like I said, Magic Kingdom's not so bad, because if you're leaving Magic Kingdom, they do have individual buses for all 3. Imagine that. Magic Kingdom gets priority, like it always does, which it should. It is, almost 20 million people a year visiting. It might even be over 20 million now visiting Magic Kingdom. So, that's the main ordeal. But anyways, I just wanted to mention that the buses that aggravate me. Nothing else really stands out. I didn't the Maestro Mickey's, which was the gift shop, was nice. Intermission, the food court, I didn't have an issue. I only ate there once. I usually decide to opt in and just eat at the parks. I usually like to, whenever I get out of my room, I like to get my day started. Sometimes I don't like to just hang out and eat breakfast. Every now and then I do. It just depends on what I feel like doing on the specific day. But Intermission was nice. I ate there twice. I ate there once, and then I ate there get a snack. I got a snack there once, but I only ate like a meal there once. But anyways, that was pretty good too. Like I said, check-in, if you remember my video tour, check-in was really easy. That went really good. And you do get a magic band with your stay, which is nice. So have another magic band for the fire. It's fine with me. I like collecting magic bands. I'm a collector as it is. You can see all these things behind me here. That's all my pins, and over here I got all my patches and stuff. So, you can really see that I like to collect stuff, so that doesn't bother me. But yeah, I mean, everything worked great, and my biggest positive is definitely the Magical Express, though. Magical Express is wonderful. I wish that Universal would step up their game and include a complimentary transport from MCO to the resorts. They do have the Superstar Shuttle, which is $30 round trip, I believe. But the problem with the Super Shuttle is that I don't think you can just book that straight right. I mean, you can't book that outright. You have to book it through the vacation package, which if you're an annual pass holder, you don't do that kind of stuff. Being annual pass holders, we just go down there whenever we can, and we don't do vacation packages because we don't need to do vacation packages. I do think they do some vacation packages for pass holders, but I prefer not to fool with that. I like to just do everything, plan accordingly to what I want to do and be open and free about that kind of stuff. I like to, I like to make things more open. But yeah, so Magical Express was probably the biggest, and probably the long bus waits might have been the biggest con. Being like a Red Roof Inn was not too hot either. I do have to admit that. That kind of hindered my stay just a little bit. I know that's not the point of being at Disney. Like, I care more about the amenities, other than staying in the room. But I do like having a nice room, especially if, like I said, if I can go to Cabana Bay and pay for the same price and have a nicer room, that it evens it out a little bit because of how much nicer Cabana Bay was. And I'm using Cabana Bay a lot because I've stayed at Cabana Bay, and also Cabana Bay is in the same price range. Of course, if I were to say Royal Pacific or Portofino Bay and then start comparing that to All Star, that would make no sense. Like, can't do that. Those hotels are completely different. Especially Portofino Bay is supposed to be, like one of the best hotels in Orlando, period, not just at the resorts. Anyway, so I'm trying to compare it to Cabana Bay because it's in the same price range. But yeah, so I think that's all my pros and cons. I do recommend staying there if you like the amenities that Disney offers. I do recommend it. I was not disappointed at all by staying there. There was just a few things that kind of, drove me a little nuts. Like I said, the buses and the Red Roof Inn thing, that really wasn't like superb for me. But that is something that's something I experienced, and I wanted to share it with you all. I'm not trying to hide it and be like, yeah, Disney's great, and Disney's the best. Oh my gosh, I loved it. I don't do that. Universal and Disney have both. Like, both of them have their faults. Like, they have major issues at certain points. Like, Universal needs to fix their entrance system. There are a lot of people that struggle with their fingerprints. They need to change it. They need to update it, and they need to get it like an RFID system like Disney has, and have bands and all that stuff. I don't know what the copyright issues with that, but they really need. I hope when Fantastic Worlds comes out that everything kind of switches over to more updated and an updated system, because even Volcano Bay's system works better than the system at Universal. I mean, Universal Islands. It's newer. It needs a major update. My point is Disney and Universal both have their issues. It's like I said, Cabana Bay is not perfect either. I think Cabana Bay was, I can't say it's more rowdy. I actually think Cabana Bay is quieter. But that's about it. I'm not like I said, my point is they both have their faults, and they both have their merits. But this is about the All-Star Music, and I do recommend it. I think if you're looking for a cheap place to stay, cheaper, I mean, you want the Disney amenities. In my opinion, there's no reason anymore to even pay for a hotel off of Disney or Universal property. If you have the extra cash and you're going to pay $100 a night anyways to stay off-site, like off International Drive or 192, I have no idea why you would do that. When my father and I, when we go down to Orlando, we stay at a condo place for the duration of our stay, because that it gives us more of a homey feel. But if we had to stay at a hotel, we're going to stay on site, and that's the best way to do it. That's just the way it goes. I really I enjoy being on site. It's just nice. So, like I said, I do recommend All-Star Music. If you're looking for one of the value resorts, it was nice enough where I could recommend it. But I think Universal's a better place to stay. I really do. A lot of you probably won't agree with me. I know there's a lot of Disney heads out there that are really just all out Disney. But yeah, I think staying on site at Universal is a better experience, and I do recommend that over staying at Disney Resort. Like I said, I know a lot of people won't agree with that, but that's just my opinion. And always keep that in mind. Whenever I share something that might sound controversial or might offend you, it is just my opinion. You don't have to agree with me. A lot of people don't agree with me. It's like, I talk bad about Illuminations a lot, and people do not like that. But I don't care. I just share my opinions, and I hope you respect that. I respect other people's opinions. Some people think Illuminations is the best show on, in the world. Some people might think All Star Music just tears up Cabana Bay. I personally don't. I like Cabana Bay better. But regardless, that's enough of that. I hope you enjoyed my little pros and cons here. As always, you can follow me on my Instagram at Daily Theme Park Photos. You can also follow me on Twitter at Corey Mathery, same as my channel name. And you can also follow me on TikTok at Corey Says Yo. I do little short videos and goof off on there. It's kind of like my goof off thing. But I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions about the resort, or if there's anything that you think I missed, please leave a comment below, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. I'm always looking to answer questions and help people out as much as I can. I might have controversial opinions about certain things, but that does not mean that you have to get offended or anything like that. I'm more than willing to be non-biased about certain things and completely just, try to help out as much as I can. That's one of the major goals of my channel is to help out people, and I do my park tours and all that stuff, and I try to help people because I look up the same types of things when I go to travel. So, anyways, I hope this guy's helped. I hope this guy's helped you. Yeah, well, this guy. I hope I helped you, and thank you for watching, guys. Take care.